So we've made the 20-something hour trek from Bali to Los Angeles. We've got a cool week lined up, a little bit of work, speaking at a conference, here for a good friend's book launch, and it's just going to be really, really cool. So we're going to pull you through some of the journeys of the highlights, maybe hopefully not so many lowlights, and bring you in behind the scenes of a week in Los Angeles.
Happy Release Day!
I'm Erwin.
Hey, Dylan.
Dylan?
Dan's assistant, yeah.
Oh, good to meet you.
You too,
Dan
man.
has an assistant?
Wow, content director.
She goes, you're now like an influencer. Incredible, guys. I'm going to have Dan Bolton from, I don't know if it's Bali, New Zealand, all over. Down under, way under.
And so they were like, oh, do you have your ESTA visa? And that's the US Visitors Visa. And I was like, yep. And then I looked over at Dylan and I was like, oh, do you have an ESTA? And he's like, I'm like, oh no. We're like trying to get it right then. And so anyway, long story short, he got to Taiwan not knowing if he could still get to LA. But when he landed,
applied when you were leaving and then you got it.
I had like no data on my phone either. Like the airport Wi-Fi wasn't working.
I was already through. I was like, I'm not missing this flight because I got food.
He's like, laters, bro.
Yeah.
How is everyone fitting in here?
It works. We
Are
figured
you
it out.
doing an interview? Like, is someone interviewing you for the arena?
No, actually, I was almost not going to speak because I invited too many people. Then at one point, I did say to Aaron, maybe we should ask Dan to not speak because you're one of our friends. So we were trying to think whose feelings can we.
I keep saying that to Liv. I was like, I think I'm speaking, but I'm super waiting
Aaron
for the
said,
text.
absolutely not. He's the first one we invited. He's speaking.
I was like, I only had say in one person. I was like, Dan's speaking.
We want to do one of our mastermind things in Bali.
Come on.
But we need to have enough lead time because he's like, let's do the January one. There's not enough time.
Yeah.
Guys can't like redirect their lives and go to
Yeah.
Bali. They need like 6 months.
Yeah. Now that you have a community of people that are like going to be willing to pay you to do stuff and hanging out, now it's just put places on the bucket list.
Yeah, we want to go.
And then just go. We're gonna run a thing in Japan because I'm
We
gonna do a
just
thing
thought-
in Japan in March.
Oh, are you?
And I'm just like selfishly want to go to Japan. Honestly,
You craving it?
easy. No, I'm just hungry.
G-Wagon. Go on, bro, open that door.
Always for the B-roll.
100 deep when I roll like the army. Get more bottles, these bottles are lonely. It's a moment when I show up, God, I'm saying why.
The more you can do that, I think, the more that you stack the odds in your favor, and then being so focused on not obsessing on the outcomes, but really just obsessing on the inputs as opposed to the outputs, the things you can control, so that every day you can count it as a success, regardless of how much money you're doing. So hopefully that makes sense, brother, and let me know if you have any questions for this.
Alright, so we're in LA. I feel like a freaking weather reporter here. We're like in the middle of all of this fog. It's been beautiful the last few days. It looks a bit crazy right now. And I'm heading to the arena live. Now this is like the first time I've spoken on stage in a really long time. So I've spoken on stage somewhere between 500 and 600 times starting when I was 16. But I'm a bit out of practice. And I've been going to this message, this talk that I'm giving on kind of core identity content. You guys might see a clip of it later. And it's the most relaxed I've felt. And I'm like nervous that it's the most relaxed I've felt because I'm just like trying a different process. But it's going to be really, really exciting because even if I bomb, I'm going to get a whole lot out of it because there's so many good speakers. So we're going to bring you on the journey, give you some behind the scenes, some of the clips. So come along for the journey, check it out.
The month after I turned 16, I quit high school, never to return. And so I picked up 2 jobs around that time. The first was I worked in a retail store, like in a clothing store, selling skateboarding gear and things like that. The second was, you're not gonna believe me, but hang with me. I became the youngest sex ed teacher in New Zealand, despite having no real world experience or expertise on the subject. And so many of you are afraid to go all in on your message because you don't feel like you're good enough. You're not like this person, you're not like that person, but we don't need more echoes, we need voices. We need people who can embody who they've been created to be. the divine God, whether you believe it's the universe, has given you something unique that only you can bring. A creation that is such a gift to the world, but if you were hold it back, yeah, there's going to be other people who will tap in, but guess what? They won't reach the same people you were meant to reach in the same way you were meant to reach them with the message you were meant to reach them with. So if I could leave you with anything, it's get quiet enough to remember who you are and what you're looking for.
What was it like that first jump going from, okay, no longer have a job?
I had 1 week's worth of pay. I borrowed my wife Olivia's laptop and I sat down. I was like, right, I need to start a business. There were all of these people that trusted me enough to give me a shot. And so even though they didn't know Dan the marketer, they knew Dan the human. Because I'd been building my reputation for so long. A personal brand is just your reputation at scale with people through the online world. I didn't realize that I'd been building my reputation up until this point and that was going to help me in business, but that's exactly what happened.
So we're in Taiwan airport, coming to the very end of our trip from Bali to Los Angeles. If you've never traveled from Bali to Los Angeles, it's freaking long, right? I cannot wait to get back to my family, but reflecting on this week, such an unreal week, both from my perspective of leveling up and everything I learned and the experiences I got to kind of live through, and just being around so many people who are doing such amazing things, so expanding and inspiring. And if you haven't been in a room like that at one time, highly encourage you to get around a mentor, a community, an event that's going to like lift you up to new levels. But yeah, it's been an incredible week. I'm looking forward to getting back into Bali, getting back into routine and back in LA in like 5 or 6 weeks. So cannot wait to do that. Cannot wait to work on the upcoming projects and things like that. But thank you so much for following along the LA trip. If you want to see more content like this, let us know. If you want us to piss off, let us know as well. And I'm seeing you love. Speak soon.